Hello, and thank you for watching my video brought to you by Harmony Public Schools. Today I am going to be explaining the similarities and differences between a plant cell and an animal cell. Now, as you can observe, some of the similarities between the plant cell and the animal cell are that they both have a cell membrane, which is the outer lining of the cell, and it keeps the essential structure of the cell together. And also another one of the functions of the cell membrane is to allow oxygen, waste, and water to enter into the cell or be transported out of the cell depending on what the function of the cell is. Another similarity between the animal cell and the plant cell is that they both have vacuoles, which I've depicted right here. Now, the function of the vacuole is it stores oxygen, waste, or water, depending on what the function of the cell is, and it is able to store whatever the cell needs to maintain itself. Another similarity between the animal cell and the plant cell is that they both have aminoplast. Now, the function of the aminoplast is that they store the energy of the cell once it is gathered or created, and that's the function of the aminoplast for the plant cell and the animal cell. Next is the mitochondrion, and the function of the mitochondrion is that it breaks down the energy that is gained for the cell. So, depending on how the cells gain their energy, they are able to break it down and be used for the rest of the cell. Next off we have ribosomes, which are depicted as these little dots right here. And the ribosomes help the amino acids link together during cell replication. And what this means is that when DNA is being created and when it is being replicated, the amino acids that are used to help out in the replication process when cells are dividing, it helps link it together to the DNA, which is very important for when the cell is going to multiply or split. Next we have Golgi bodies, which I think is pronounced, which are right here. And the function of the Golgi bodies is to package, facilitate, and transport any materials that need to either be stored or transferred throughout the body of the animal or the plant, depending again on what the function of the cells are. And they can package for use oxygen, waste, water, and transport it through the different parts of the cell, and that is their major function. Next we have cytoplasm, which is the area within the cell that is not either one of the major organelles. It is the area within inside the cell which helps keep together the cell and maintain its structure, along with the cell membrane. Next we have the nucleus, which is the main part of the cell. It is not the center of it, but it is the main part of it. And what this does is that it contains most of the genetic material, like DNA, chromosomes, and proteins that are very essential for cell replication or very essential for your genes and stuff like that. So it contains most of the genetic material. The nucleolus is meant to transcript the DNA during cell replication process, and it is meant to help recreate DNA when two cells are being split apart. And it gives the code of the DNA so it can be multiplied for cell replication processes. Now, right here, the centrosomes, which are these little circles right here, these are held together within the cell, and when the cell is being divided later on, it creates a new nucleus for the new cell. So when the cell is being divided, a new nucleus can be created off of the centrosome. Now, these are all the similarities between the two cells. Now, the differences between the two cells is that, for one, a plant cell has a cell wall, which gives it a much tougher, thicker, and stronger structure for the cell. Now, as you can see, the plant cell has a much more rectangular, boxy shape because of the cell wall, which is meant to help it stay more intact and defend itself through all types of weather conditions and stuff like that, and make the plant cell stronger. And as you can see, within the animal cell, all it has is the cell membrane. So with this, for an animal cell, the cells can be more free-form and different shaped, but most of the times with a plant cell is more rectangular and boxy. Now, another difference between the animal cell and the plant cell is that the vacuoles that I mentioned earlier, for the plant cell, since it isn't always able to get what it needs when it needs it, it needs to storage more of the materials that it needs for later use. So it has much bigger vacuoles than a bigger main vacuole for the cell compared to the animal cells, which have smaller, less used vacuoles. Another thing is that chloroplast, which I depicted right here. The chloroplast is used during photosynthesis to create its energy and its food for it to be used later on for the cell. And that is the similarities and differences between the animal and plant cell. And thank you very much for watching my presentation, again brought to you by Harmony Public Schools.